What we want you to realize is that it doesn't take much tuning to come back into alignment with who you really are. It's the consistency of holding yourself there. Law of attraction will begin to reverberate within you and will begin to bring to you whatever it is that you are offering. And if you can hold yourself in a sort of steady alignment with who you are for a very brief period of time, your vibration shifts and then your point of attraction shifts. So it doesn't take very much tuning yourself to a downstream vibration before the indicator that is coming to you in form of manifestation reflects back to you the improvement in that vibration. It's really a powerful thing to get hold of the understanding that if I shift the way I feel, I have therefore shifted my vibrational offering, and I have therefore shifted my point of attraction, and therefore the physical manifestation must shift too. That's why, to many people, an understanding of the power of their emotions is rather astonishing. It isn't astonishing once you get the hang of it. It only is at first, because you have had access to the power that creates worlds for a very long time, and you haven't known it. So you've been dabbling around doing your creating in a sort of action-oriented, many times upstream, mediocre way. And when you begin to tune yourself, it's why we like your question so much, when you begin to tune yourself to the energy that really is who you are, then you begin to create as you've intended. Yes. We interrupted you. What did you want to say?
Well, I think you partly answered my question, of course. It's distracting to be in this world, and I'm a counselor, and so I work with people with lots of problems, and I'm also a caretaker. My husband is ill, and so I find even, that I'm pulled and distracted by other people's presence, and so how...
Speaking of distraction.
Speaking of distracted, yeah.
But you see...
So I'm thinking you're saying just... take a minute to,
What we want to say is, yes, contrast is distracting, but it's also the basis of new conclusions. So in all of that distraction, even without knowing you're doing it, you're launching rockets of desire and you're building this vibrational escrow. And you're absolutely right. We appreciate those words that you've offered. You cannot be distracted. You must be focused. If you are to be the deliberate creator of your life experience, you must focus. But focusing amidst distraction is hard. So that's why we're encouraging you to feel your way there. Focus on how you feel and let how you feel matter most. Distraction is creation by default. That's where whatever is making the most noise gets the attention. The timer went off and it got your attention. It's distracting because it didn't get Jerry's attention. That's why we said we hear your timer. He's often so focused upon what he's doing that that timer goes off and he is oblivious to the fact that the timer has gone off. So distracting is creation by default. Focusing is deliberate creation. Good.
Thank you.
This is a joy to be here. All week long, I kept checking in as to whether I had a question or not, and I didn't until last night, and one woke me up in the middle of the night. And all the times over all the years that I've listened to you, the one statement that I've really enjoyed is the one that says the leading edge. That is such a powerful statement. And the times when I felt depressed or less than, I would remember that and feel like, no, I'm on the leading edge. That's something that's really great. And so my life has been working on that leading edge and just changing my thoughts and releasing and moving through old stuff. But lately I have felt stuck. And I feel like now, if I visualize the leading edge, there's like this edge here, and I'm close to the edge, and I'm not sure whether it's time to jump off and trust, or is there another edge? Or what? So I'm this whole thing of an edge. I've gotten close to it. I need to move through something.
Your words are more inspired than you know, because, and we so enjoyed your description of how, as you've moved through time, you have brought yourself into alignment and felt the exhilaration of it again and again and again. And now what you're saying, as you feel uncertain about what's there beyond that leading edge, you're speaking exactly what we're talking about, as we are now speaking of the art of allowing, the art of trusting the stream, the art of surrendering, the art of understanding that it's step 1, 2, 3. Step 1, contrast causes you to ask. You can't not do that. Step 2, isn't your job, source will answer. Step 3 is your letting go of the oars and allowing the stream to carry you where your life has called you. And so don't you think it's interesting that the very way that you were expressing this leading edge is exactly where this leading edge thought is now?
Yes. And the word surrender has been up a lot for me lately.
Well, those words have been around for a long time, long before Esther began translating our message into them, the word surrender. But people have thought of surrendering as giving up desire. And we're wanting to state clearly that you cannot give up your desire, but you must give up your resistance. In other words, you can't want less than life has caused you to want. You can't withdraw. There's no regression. You cannot become less than life has caused you to be. But you can, without meaning to, hold yourself in vibrational discord with what life has caused you to be, but then you never feel good. And so what you are feeling about this edge is a good thing, because we want you to realize, first of all, we'll answer your question and say there is always another and another and another and another and another. There is no ending to that feeling of expansion, and therefore of that expansion. And when you reach that place, that, you see, quite often you're like so many humans where you want something and you don't know how it's going to come, or where, or when, or even who's going to be involved in it. You know that you want something, and then you begin getting a whiff of it, and then you feel actualized or inspired to action, and then off you go. And you've been attributing what then has resulted in the manifestation as the result of your action. Where now what we are really wanting to define, and what you've been hearing us say, is that you don't create through action. It's all done through vibration. It's all done through thought. Expectation is what makes your life work the way that it does. And now you understand that. It's leaving you feeling a little uncertain about how the action part fits into it.
This is true.
Because if I'm not doing it, if I'm thinking it into being, then what is it that I do? And you've been listening to us long enough that for quite a while, when Esther first began receiving us, we were talking about the science of deliberate creation, and people were more deliberately offering thoughts. We were putting emphasis on thinking about what you want, and going to those mental workshops and defining what you want, and doing more affirmations. And then we noticed, though, that with those kinds of encouragements, so many people were trying too hard. They were trying to use words and action to make it happen. They were not doing much different than what they had always been doing. They were trying to make it happen. They were trying to will it into being. And we're wanting you to understand that anytime you try to will something into being, you're feeling that it needs to be dealt with through some sort of powerful determination, always turns you upstream and keeps you from allowing it. So then we began using the soft words of, this is the art of allowing. Step 1 is contrast causes you to ask. Step 2 is source answers. Step 3 is you got to find somehow, some way to become a vibrational match to what you're asking for. And that does put your working environment more into the process of allowing, letting it be, surrendering, trusting that the stream will take you to where you want to be. We watch so many people, we talked about this earlier today, who get it that where the positive emotion is where they want to be, and identify often that that's not where they are. And so in a sort of determined fashion, they're going to turn their boat downstream and they're going to move it into that better feeling water. And we say, that's backwards, because that feeling turns you upstream every time. So you finally are at this place where you understand that you have put enough through life into your vibrational escrow to keep you busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes. You really don't need more contrast in order to get something there to inspire you. It's there, source is there, and calling you toward it. And now your work is trust.